What is conscious business coaching? And is it the right thing for you in your self employed business? Hey there, my name is Josh Freeberg, and I am a conscious business coach. I've been certified as a conscious leadership guide with Xchange. And what that means is that I help self employed business owners like you to bring more attention and intention to your business so that you can be productive at work and really present at home and for the moments of your life that matter most. And in this video, what I'd like to do is share with you how conscious business coaching could potentially accelerate your self employed business by bringing that right amount of attention and intention to the work that you do, to your workflow, and to that synthesis between your work and your life. Well, let's jump right into it. And what we're going to talk about today is the big shifts that happen with conscious business coaching as opposed to other more conventional forms of business coaching. And the first shift really is that it looks at you as a whole person, right? A lot of business coaching just focuses on the business to the exclusion of the full humanity and growth of the client, of you, the person who wants to grow. Yeah, you want to grow your business, make more revenue, make it more profitable, make it a better service to the world, but maybe at the same time also grow and develop into the wonderful, incredible human being that you were meant to be. And part of that, really recognizes that our business and our life are together. You probably know the pain side of this, which is that if your phone is on, you are working, right? But there's also this element to which work isn't just a means to fund our life. Work isn't just a way to maybe fund the good that we do in the world. Work itself is like inherently valuable. It does good in the world. It makes a difference for your customers and your clients. It transforms your little piece of the world where you are making a big difference. But it also impacts your life deeply. See, if your work is filled with stress and anxiety and really draining for you, well, then what kind of person are you when you get home? Or do you really get to be the person you want to be as a parent, as a spouse, as a friend, as a member of your community? The other thing is that when it comes especially to small business and especially to being self-employed or a solopreneur, you are the number one potentiality factor in your business. Now, I call it this for a really important way. It's a lot of people will describe it as the limiting factor, which of course is coming from a place of scarcity, a place of lack. It's a common place that we go as humans because of our inherent negativity bias. But could we also see it as a potentiality factor? That your business is really unlimited in how much you grow as a person, right? That as you become more open to the possibilities, to growth, to transformation, will you become an unlimiting potentiality factor for your business. And so we can't just look at the profit and loss statement. We can't just look at KPIs. We also need to look at you, the full human, and your growth and transformation along the way. I can't tell you how many clients I've had. It's easily getting up around like 20%, 25% of them that within the first couple months of working with them, we've transformed their nutrition plan because we realized that getting their nutrition right was the number one thing to growing their business. We've seen measurable improvement in productivity, revenue, and profit because of breakfast. It's crazy. And yet it works all the time when we consider the whole person and not just people as units of production. And the last thing is that when we consider the whole person, is part of the reason you've been called into self-employment is because you really have, typically what I find is people have really deeply held values. And when they really dig into their business in a way that aligns with their values, they can craft a system that fits who they are. that isn't just built around someone else's system of success, but is really built around their vision for their life, around their values, not only their business values, right? What they provide for their customers, how they treat employees, how they treat vendors, how they treat the environment, all of those things, but also values on like what do work environments look like? What does it mean to stop work at a certain time and begin being home at a certain time? We need to look at the entire person, not just the business person, but the whole person. Well, let's look at shift number two. Shift number two is this idea of inner work and conducting our new behaviors as experiments. So, what does that mean, inner work? It means that our inner work matters as much as our actions. Our inner work matters as much as our actions. So, here's what happens. In a coaching call, very common for us to pick a new action that we're going to take this next week. Hey, this next week, I'm going to reach out to 20 new prospects, right? 20 new potential people who could work with us, right? Potential new customers. And then next week, we're going to come back and we're going to review that and we'll talk about this later in a care-based accountability environment. So this is the action. We, deconstruct and reverse engineer to make sure that we can take that action. It's the right action for the business. And then we go out and do it. Well, along the way, there's something that's going to happen when we take a new action, which is we're going to have some things happen that are inner work, right? We're going to face maybe getting energized, enthused, excited about the new work that we're doing. But we may find that we come to this work and we come to it with fear, anxiousness, reactivity, those types of things. Well, both of those are fine. Both of those are important because they teach us something really important about who we are, how we're constructed, what our values are, and then it also informs, is this the type of action that makes sense for my business? So, business owner number one comes back. They reached out to the 20 new prospects. It went really well. In fact, they signed up a few of them as new customers. It was great. They actually enjoyed the work quite a bit and they want to do more of it. In fact, they think they need that to be a regular practice in their business. Great. That's incredible learning. The other one found out, gross. I don't like it. It doesn't work for my business. This is not the way I like attracting business. There's got to be a better way to do this. It doesn't fit with my personality. It doesn't fit with my behavior. It doesn't fit with my values. Right? Well, then great. That's a different conversation. In fact, one of my clients had that very same scenario happen. Several weeks of trying to prospect new business. They didn't do it. Great. So we actually empowered one of their team members to be the person who does that. Had another client that had the same problem, didn't like prospecting that way, felt weird, didn't feel like it was in alignment with who they were. Okay, terrific. And what they started doing was working on building referrals and recommendations from their current client base to earn new customers and clients. Perfect, right? Either way, the experiment, the action was not a failure. It was an opportunity to explore the inner work of what was missing, right? Now, there's other things, like I have a client that doesn't like doing her invoices. Guess what? She needs to do some inner work that says, get over yourself, grow up, do them, right? That's just business. Sometimes there's things we have to do that we don't enjoy doing. However, what if we're making it such a big deal, right? We're actually spending more time, energy, and anxiousness on not doing the activity versus doing the activity. Great, that's great inner work to notice and then be able to say, okay, instead of spending my energy grousing about this thing I don't want to do, I'm just going to do it and it'll be over. That's what it means when we say the inner work matters just as much as the action. The other thing we want to do in this is we want to measure the process. A lot of people know how to measure the results. Okay, I reached out to 20 new prospects. I signed up 3 of them. We sold, an additional $25,000 in revenue. Awesome. It worked. But other people are going to have different results. Or you might look at those results and say, how could they be even better? The other important thing, though, to do is to measure the process. What happens if you go out and do that, but realize you've burned up all your seed grain, right? Like you've expended your resource so much that you came home drained, exhausted, angry, frustrated, and you weren't able to be the person you want to be when you get home. Well, what's the point? Even if it worked, this is not sustainable, right? This is something that's going to lead to, you know, early heart surgery that's going to lead to adult children that don't want to talk to you and to divorce court. Okay, well, then that's probably not an action that we want to reproduce in our business, right? What is something that's sustainable, reproducible, that is energy giving rather than energy taking? Does it work with your life and lifestyle? And then the last thing is that with conscious business coaching, we really focus a lot on experiments versus hustle. Right? Hustle says this is a proven method. It works every time. Go do it. And if you do it, you're great. And if you don't do it, you're a loser. You think that's exaggerated language? Just go listen to some of the hustle culture folks out there. You'll hear that language every time. Instead, what I invite my clients to do is to conduct experiments. See, an experiment, you still go out and take the action, by the way, that either works or doesn't work. You still go out and take the action, but you aren't coming from a place of like fear and fear of failure, of shame, right? Instead, you're coming from a place of curiosity. I wonder how this is going to go. By the way, this is how I built my entire like fitness routine. Was I would conduct a new experiment every week, and I would go do things, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes I would get injured and a lot of times I wouldn't. Sometimes I would do the activity and find out that it left me so exhausted for the other areas of my life it wasn't worth it. Sometimes I would do it, or I would fail to do it because I hadn't really thought through my calendar and how I was going to have to negotiate and navigate all the other duties that I have in my life. But because I approached it as an experiment, because I came from a place of curiosity, oh, I wonder how this is going to work. Well, then I didn't have any shame or embarrassment about that. It was just an opportunity to refine, improve, and grow. So this is where I think in examining the inner work that drives us and using experiments to help dictate our action keeps us in a posture of curiosity so that we can continue to grow and improve. Let's look at shift number 3. Shift number 3 I referenced earlier, and it's this idea of care-based accountability. And I'll tell you exactly where this came from, which is I spent way too much time in environments of shame-based accountability. Accountability that was based on fear, shaming, and coercion to get you to do the behaviors that the coach wanted you to do, right? That were dictated by someone else. And when I shifted into care based accountability says, hey, you as the client are the most important person in this equation. And this is all about you getting what you want. You living a life that's in accordance with your values. And so the accountability starts with that you are a great person doing a really good job doing your best. And when you commit to action, it's because you believe that it's in alignment with what you're looking to achieve, with your vision for your life. And that my job is to come alongside you, ask you if you did it, and if you did, help you investigate whether that's something you want to continue to do or improve on, or if that's something that needs to be removed. And if you didn't do it, start asking what blocked you, what got in the way. See, a lot of accountability is says that if you fail, it's because of a character flaw, right? It's because you don't have integrity. You don't do what you say you're going to do. You don't keep your promises. A lot of times what I notice is that there's missing information when people make commitments to action, right? They didn't know how hard it was going to be. They didn't know how long it was going to take. They hadn't really thought through all of the different competing actions and duties they had in life in order to be able to do this, right? Or they didn't really pay attention to the fact that they didn't want to do it. They don't like it. It doesn't align with who they are as a person. Well, that's not a character flaw, right? That's just missing information. That's making a decision in a low information environment. Great. Go for it this week, see what happens. And if it doesn't work, now we have new information to make a new decision, right? We update our priors, we update our views, and then we make a new decision. That's not a character flaw, right? That's actually a character rich way of doing things. The other thing that care-based accountability does is it allows you to come from a place of strength-based possibilities. I mentioned this before, but what most people focus on is what's broken, what's disease, what's unhealthy, right? This is why, we don't have a healthcare system. Actually, we have a disease care system, right? We have in our medical system is based on fixing, healing disease, not on proactively creating health. Well, a lot of business coaching is the same thing. What's the gap? What's missing? What's broken? What are you not doing? Where are you failing? Where's your bottleneck? What's your limiting factor? Right? What are the weaknesses? What are the threats? What we focus on in conscious business coaching is strength-based possibilities. See, possibilities are so much bigger than fixing what's broken, right? Famously, British Airways brought in an appreciative inquiry consultant to help them, and what they wanted to do was fix their luggage problem. They were known for chronically losing luggage and getting luggage to people late when their flights arrived at Heathrow. And so they said, how do we fix our lost luggage problem? And the first question that their appreciative inquiry consultant suggested was, what if we did something different? What if we asked, instead of a gap question, a lack question, what if we asked a possibilities question? And the possibilities question was, how could we make the number one passenger arrival experience possible? Well, not only did they solve their lost and late luggage problem, right? They became world renowned for the whole experience from wheels down to getting into your taxi uh, after you've gone through the airport, right? How do you make an amazing arrival experience? Well, we could do the same thing in our small self-employed businesses. Is not, oh, what's broken, what's possible? What would it look like if I was doing 2 times, 5 times, serving 2 times or 5 times as many customers? What would it look like if I doubled my revenue? What would it look like if I got home at 3 o'clock every afternoon? What would it look like if I could uh, if I could empower other people to do the work that I do, if I could train more of me to do this kind of work? All of these are possibility questions that are so much bigger than, hey, my website is broken, or, oh man, revenues are down, I can't make payroll this month, right? We're going to come from strength-based possibilities when we engage in conscious business coaching. Well, where do we go from here? When you hire a coach, I think one of the most important things is you are not looking to hire an ad hoc boss, right? I've had a lot of coaching clients, when they hire me, they think that's what they're getting. Okay, coach, tell me what to do. But the fact is, you are the expert at your life and career and your vision for yourself. You know more about it than anybody. What you're looking for is a thinking partner, is someone who could come alongside you, give you an outside perspective, and hold you accountable and ask you the right process questions around your accountability to get there, right? This is not about bringing in a new boss, bringing in a new, 8th grade wrestling coach to your life. It's about having somebody who helps you become best version of yourself. This is all about your vision. It's about your life, who you are looking to become, what you are trying to accomplish with your business. Conscious business coaching isn't about levitating or getting into different levels of, ecstasy or mindfulness. It's about being fully present for your own life and aligning your business according to your vision and your values. And a great conscious business coach will come alongside you and help you get there faster. I'd love to hear from you. What are you looking for when you hire a business coach to help you accomplish your goals? And if you'd like to hear more about conscious business coaching, how you can bring more attention and intention to your self-employment so that you can be more productive at work, more present at home, take a second to like and subscribe.